No one expected it. Not the analysts, not the tennis elite, and certainly not the bookmakers. Yet in late January 2025, a 20-year-old Filipina walked onto the courts of the Abu Dhabi International Tennis Complex and delivered one of the most shocking runs in modern women's tennis. Alex Eala did not merely win matches, she rewrote expectations, shattered predictions, electrified a nation, and launched a career-defining comeback that changed everything. Just days earlier, Alex Eala had lifted the Philippine Women's Open trophy, a proud moment but one that barely registered on the global tennis radar. Ranked 45th in the world, she entered the Abu Dhabi WTA 500 event as an underdog, overshadowed by established stars and proven veterans. Few believed she would survive the opening rounds. Yet within a single unforgettable week, Alex Eala would climb to world number 38, pocket nearly $46,000 in prize money, and ignite a tennis movement across the Philippines. Her journey to that moment had been anything but easy. Alex Eala was no stranger to pressure. She was the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, conquering the US Open Girls Championship and earning recognition as one of the most promising young players of her generation. But the professional circuit is ruthless. Junior glory fades quickly. Talent alone is never enough. For nearly 3 years, Alex Eala fought her way through grueling ITF tournaments, endless qualifiers, exhausting travel schedules, and the emotional weight of carrying her nation's hopes. Each ranking point was a battle. Each match felt like survival. Abu Dhabi was supposed to be a test, a measuring stick to determine whether Alex Eala truly belonged among the world's top 50. The questions followed her everywhere. Could she compete consistently at this elite level? Could she handle the pressure of representing a nation that had never produced a top 40 tennis player? Could she deliver when it truly mattered? Her opening match offered no mercy. Across the net stood Alexandra Sasnovich, a seasoned Belarusian veteran who had once defeated Serena Williams and dismantled top 10 opponents. Sasnovich's ranking may have dipped, but her experience and tactical precision made her a dangerous first-round opponent. It was the kind of draw that crushes dreams. But something was different that day. The stands overflowed with Filipino supporters, thousands of overseas workers, families, and fans who had traveled from across the Middle East and beyond. Flags waved. Chants echoed. Every point was met with thunderous applause. The stadium pulsed with belief. For the first time in her career, Alex Eala wasn't just playing for herself, she was carrying the spirit of an entire nation. The match unfolded as a brutal chess battle. Sasnovich dominated early, controlling rallies and dictating tempo. Alex Eala dropped the first set 6-2, struggling to find rhythm. But in the second set, something ignited. She steadied her nerves, trusted her training, and unleashed her aggressive baseline game. The crowd roared as she clawed her way back, capturing the second set 6-4 and forcing a decider. Then came the moment that defined her career. In the final set, Sasnovich surged ahead, breaking Alex Eala's serve repeatedly and racing to a 4-0 lead. The scoreboard looked grim. Commentators began preparing her obituary. Match point loomed. Fatigue set in. Doubt crept closer. But Alex Eala refused to surrender. With her back against the wall, she dug deeper than ever before. She held serve. She broke back. Then again. The crowd exploded as momentum swung violently. Suddenly, 4-0 became 4-3. The tension became unbearable. Each rally felt like a heartbeat. The stadium stood on its feet as the score reached 5-5, forcing a deciding tiebreak. What followed was pure theater. Every point was a war. Every swing carried the weight of history. At 6-5, Alex Eala earned match point. Sasnovich fired a desperate return, but Alex Eala stepped in, crushed a fearless forehand down the line, and collapsed to the court in disbelief. After 2 hours and 51 minutes of relentless combat, Alex Eala had done the impossible. Tears streamed down her face as the crowd erupted. In her post-match interview, her voice trembled. She spoke of her family, her country, and the faith that carried her through the darkest moments. She admitted she had simply kept fighting because she refused to disappoint the people who believed in her. That victory became the spark that ignited everything. Her run continued through singles and doubles, earning her a total of $45,859 in prize money, more than many Filipino families earn in a year. It was a financial breakthrough, but more importantly, it triggered a seismic shift in her career trajectory. When the WTA rankings were released on February 3, 2025, Alex Eala had climbed to world number 38, becoming the first Filipino in history to break into the top 40. The implications were massive. With that ranking, she now gained automatic entry into every WTA 1000 event, the most prestigious tournaments outside the Grand Slams. No more qualifying rounds. No more begging for wild cards. She had earned her place among the elite. The The tennis world took notice. Former world number 20 Dani Seville called her electric, praising her ability to draw crowds and inject life into the sport. Tournament organizers marveled at the unprecedented attendance. Over 90% of the stadium in Abu Dhabi was filled with Filipino fans, something never before seen for a first-round match or a player ranked outside the top 10. Her name trended across social media. Merchandise sold out within hours. Broadcast viewership surged. Alex Eala had become a marketing phenomenon overnight. Yet beneath the celebration lay a brutal reality few ever discuss. Despite earning nearly $46,000 in a single week, most of that money would never reach her pocket. Taxes alone could swallow 20 to 30%. Coaching fees, physiotherapy, nutrition, travel expenses, hotels, visas, and support staff quickly devoured another $10,000 to $15,000. By the time the dust settled, her real take-home pay was closer to $20,000. This is the harsh truth of professional tennis. Unless you rank inside the top 20, survival remains a constant struggle. Unlike team sports, tennis players operate as independent businesses. Every flight, every hotel, every visa, every training session, it all comes out of their own pockets. And then there is the emotional cost. At just 20 years old, Alex Eala lives a life most cannot imagine. Endless travel. Lonely hotel rooms. Foreign languages. Unfamiliar food. Constant pressure. She once admitted that behind the smiles, she has cried herself to sleep, missing home, longing for normalcy, and carrying expectations no teenager should bear. Yet she never complains. Because she knows her window is short. Tennis careers are fragile. Injuries strike without warning. Form vanishes overnight. Opportunities must be seized instantly. And Alex Eala is seizing every moment. Her success has already transformed Philippine tennis. For decades, the Philippines was known almost exclusively as a basketball nation. Tennis courts were scarce. Coaching was expensive. International exposure was limited. Aspiring players often had to leave the country to chase their dreams, just as Alex Eala did when she trained in Spain at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Now, everything is changing. Tennis academies in Manila report record enrollment. Children who had never touched a racket now dream of becoming the next Alex Eala. Parents see hope. Coaches see potential. A movement has begun. Yet the infrastructure remains fragile. Government funding is limited. Sponsorship is scarce. Alex Eala still relies heavily on her family and a few private donors to finance her career. Experts believe that with proper national support, the Philippines could soon produce multiple elite players, not just one shining star. Alex Eala herself understands this responsibility. She speaks often about inspiring the next generation. She wants Filipino children to believe they belong on the world stage. Every match she plays sends a powerful message that greatness can rise from anywhere, even where resources are scarce. Her ambitions stretch far beyond the top 40. She dreams of Grand Slam main draws, of top 20 rankings, of lifting trophies on the sport's biggest stages. She envisions a legacy that outlives her playing days, one that reshapes the future of tennis in her homeland. And she is only just getting started. Her next stop, Doha. Another WTA 1000 event. Another chance to prove she belongs among the giants. Another step toward immortality. What began as a single comeback victory in Abu Dhabi has become a global awakening. Alex Eala is no longer a promising junior. She is no longer a hopeful underdog. She is a rising force, a storm building momentum, a fighter fueled by belief, and a symbol of what is possible when courage meets opportunity. The tennis world is watching now. The Philippines is dreaming. And Alex Eala is charging forward, fearless and unstoppable. So the question remains, was Abu Dhabi merely a hot streak, or was it the birth of a champion? By the end of 2026, will Alex Eala break into the top 20 and rewrite history once again? One thing is certain, this story is far from over.